Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Diz Idiots, the podcast about anything about in Disney World. And, we occasionally bring you news from around the world, Disney World. I have that for a couple more weeks as Van is not yet back, but the Netcot website is running again.
What?
Okay, it's got like half these pictures of, stock photos, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
It's
He's
up,
getting there.
it's here, it's coming soon, and that's all that matters.
Hopefully for real this time. He did trick us out like 3 years ago and did like one episode and then dropped off the face of the
Yeah,
earth.
I was wondering about that too. I was like, what the hell?
But I'll take it. And, as always, over there, we have our local Disney resident knowledge buff of everything, Bruce.
Happy New
Down
Year, party
there.
people.
We have our knowledge buff of a lot of other things and travel agent,
From Love the Mouse Travel.
Brian. And I'm
Shameless
just
shameless plug.
we are nothing if not a shameless plug.
This
And
is
I'm
true.
your host, Dozer, because I just like Disney. And you know what? First, I think we have to take a moment. We have to have a moment of silence to mourn the loss of the Interventions background loop at
Yes.
Epcot. I would play you the background loop, but it's like 3 hours
That
long.
was long.
It doesn't matter. If you've ever been, you know what we're talking about. You hear it. We said that. It's in your head. It's always been in your head, but now you hear it.
It is by far the most iconic background music in
Oh.
all of Disney.
It is more iconic than Main Street, folks. Think about that for a second. Because Main Street, you remember some songs, but you don't remember all of them. But you know that Innovations music.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you definitely know that music.
Now, was it just Innovations, or was it? I thought I heard the Life Pavilion too.
It was the life of it. It was all of it.
Yeah.
The old Epcot music is gone.
What about
Thanks, Bob.
What about the entrance music? Is that, or did they update that? The entrance cue to Epcot.
I think that was updated when they redid it, but I can.
Yeah, I think things are getting updated as they're changing them.
Regardless, we're going to start hearing Moana throughout Epcot. So nothing
No,
wrong.
no. Just whatever water is.
Well-
Out there at Epcot.
Well-
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
until it comes into Spaceship Earth. So whenever that
It's
happens,
Spaceship Earth floods. I mean, I'm here for it.
instead of the Rome burning, it's the flooding.
Hey, we found Atlantis!
Yeah. Yep.
Listen, yes, I know these lyrics blow. If you know, you know. Hashtag Colorado Artists.
Who
Okay.
would Oh yeah. What's on the agenda for today?
Well,
Or are we
you
just
know,
gonna be
first-
shooting from the hip.
First, we have some hot off the presses. We don't have much information on this, but randomly today, the California Grill shut down today. All reservations were canceled and gift cards were issued to anyone who had a reservation.
The going theory is that most likely a kitchen staff or a main waiter or somebody had COVID, so they said for an abundance of caution, they said, we're done. That's what I'm thinking by that. There's two things: kitchen staff or a pipe leak of some sort.
And it was just for today. They just closed
That's
it.
all it is for today. You
Okay.
could still make a reservation for the future. That's what my articles say
Interesting.
from www.wdwnews.com and allears.net.
If you think about, folks, if Disney were to shut down the California Grill, there's something going on. At this point, you don't want to shut any of your restaurants down more than you have to. So shutting Cali Grill, a very, very popular restaurant
Yeah.
near the Magic Kingdom. Now it's a slow season. I'm sorry, the quote unquote slow season.
Hey, I
But-
think we call it dream season in DVC world.
So it's Like that's why likely it's most likely out of they don't want to say it yet because you don't want to freak people out of a worker in the kitchen had COVID. Oh no, we can't eat anywhere now.
Right.
There's people on vacations. You want to just keep things calm. You don't want to spark panic in people, especially because there are other restaurants at the Contemporary to eat at. Isn't the week gone though?
I don't know.
It
It may just not have reopened yet.
Yeah, I thought I saw something. The wave wasn't there, and I'm like, oh, sweet potato pancakes. Sorry.
Oh, the world's largest wine cellar of all screw top wines.
Their sweet potato pancakes were revolutionary.
All their food is really good. The Wave is one of my favorite restaurants in Disney.
Underrated.
Very much so. Also, we have Disney still sending out Magical Express emails with a broken link.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's got to be wonderful, especially for you, Mr. Travel Agent.
Yeah, well, I haven't really been doing the Magical Expresses. Most of my clients have either just done Ubers or they've just found other ways of they haven't done the Magical Express.
Remember, support your local taxi people. They need money too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and I mean, I haven't really had a lot of sales. Well, I've had a few sales, but I have a big one that's coming up in July. That's a big family trip, but I don't know if I think they might just be renting cars because they're going to be going to all different places down there. But no, I mean, yeah, I mean, before the Magical Express expired, I did have a few clients that took use of it because it was complimentary. But now, though, with the paid shuttle service, people haven't really been going right now, or they've been up in the air about paying for that shuttle service now with the prices and everything.
You're going to pay anyway, so
yeah, I know. It's true.
And just on that shuttle service, we also have a price increase for the express version of that shuttle service. It is up from $200 to $250.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, for a family to ride?
Yeah, for a family of 4 round trip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying about like people are just going to be renting Ubers.
That's the express. The normal version that is more akin to the Magical Express is $32 per adult round trip.
I honestly, I talked about this with my friend Amanda this week. So shout out to Amanda that I'm giving you credit for this idea. I did not come up with this alone. She had the idea and I just modified it. Disney people, we need to contact your local people. Anybody online, we all need to start flooding the park with shirts that say K Bob, K comma Bob on them. K Bob, whatever he does. K Bob, thanks Bob.
We have to be careful with what we write on our shirts now because if you've seen these, Disney's been kicking people out with subliminal messaging.
Here's the difference. That's always been. It's always been on the back of your ticket. There's only one person I know that I guess or something I've heard has been able to fight that, and that's because their friend just happened to be Johnny Depp. So he pulled a few strings to get them in. But yeah, it's always read the back of your ticket, folks. I know you don't have a physical ticket anymore. They have the right to refuse by anything you wear.
And I will say, I'm all for the fun family vacation T-shirts and the fun spin-offs and spoofs. But all the drinking around the world and drunk at Disney shirts.
Yeah.
It's a little tacky because I hate to say it. You may be having fun. You may be drinking around the world. It's still a park for families and kids. Let's not be nice, be respectful.
Understand that. I know you want to have your fun. And I am joking, but K-Bob, more when I say the K-Bob, it's so, we need to let Disney management know how we feel. And frankly, fish rods from the head. K-Bob!
Okay, I have a way you could get that shirt in that they can't argue it. You just got to put Alton Brown on it. Because if you ever watched Cutthroat Kitchen, he would have these helpers that were called K-Bob.
K-Bob.
Hey, Dozer, what was the price of the round trip for Mears for the Disney?
$250 now, up from $200.
Regular, not
regular $32 per adult.
Okay.
$27 per kid.
All right, so that is cheaper then. Universal's prices went up for their trip. It's like $39 per person.
which is
Round trip.
shocking to me because
Really?
isn't technically Universal closer?
Yes, it is technically closer, but the difference is it's technically closer. There's a back way you can get to Disney that avoids the toll road and everything. It's actually faster. Because you have the Universal, you only really have one way to get there.
Right.
And your traffic could really mess you up a lot more. But when it comes, it's funny is you say that it's $39 to get to Universal. I pay more than that because I always, unless my friends pick me up, I always take a taxi.
Yes, but the
Or
taxi
Uber.
has the big advantage of, unlike the Universal transportation, which is always going to be $39 per head, the taxi, if you stuff 2 to 3 people in there, hey,
It's gonna be the
it's
same.
now cheaper.
Well, it just means to me, it's just as easy, other than the one ride where I was saying Hail Marys in the back going, I'm dead. That's it. This is how I go. I'm dead. He's driving the wrong way on the highway. I'm gone. But so I'm a very big proponent of. I've also had some very, very awesome conversations and interactions with the taxi medallion drivers at Orlando.
I believe that. And I am also not surprised of this increase for the express service because at $200, it's not that much more than the $128 that it would be for a family of 4 just making the round trip under the normal, and for the faster time both ways, it kind of would be worth it. So the $250 puts it a little bit out of the no-brainer, everyone's just going to do that way.
For a family of 4, I'm more thinking, if you're a little off on the numbers.
Yeah, it does change it.
I certainly is definitely easier and better to do an express. And express tends to, especially when it comes to Florida, the word express does. They're saying express, but what they really mean is it's better and you know it.
Yeah.
What it means is you go from the airport to your hotel.
Mhm.
There's no other hotel stops because there is nothing worse. And believe me, this was me most of the time. I get on that Magical Express, and I always would fly in the night before, get in at like 11 p.m. I think like 3 times I was ever able to use the baggage service. That's how late I normally get in. Get on my Magical Express, and without fail, I was always the 3rd hotel.
Behind All Stars.
Yeah.
And what made it even more insulting is normally it was like 1 family per hotel on the bus at that time.
That I will say does make it there's been multiple times I'm like, of course we're the last stop.
And some of it I understood. Like when I would stay at Bay Lake Tower, yeah, that made sense to me because it's the back of the park. You got to drive past literally everything else to get there.
Yeah.
Literally.
And I know mirrors and the shuttle services, it is very, very convenient, especially like if you're going down to just do Disney. But the more and more it's like, oh God, renting a car or just even driving the 16 hours down is just having your own personal vehicle and just parking at the hotel is so, in my opinion, I think it's so much easier and convenient than.
I'm sorry. Did you just recommend people to drive the 16 hours?
Well, no.
I did not just see that come out of your mouth.
I'm just saying
I'll give you
I
my
like
3-year-old.
to drive.
You can try it again.
Yeah. No, I'm saying me personally, I like the drive. I like
and
driving.
Honestly, the only advantage to renting the car is because they're charging you for parking. I forget. If you stay at Disney property, do you get free parking at the parks?
You get free parking at the parks, but you have to pay for your hotel park.
No,
right.
That's the advantage. Now, it works for every park that's not the Magic Kingdom because you've never parked at the Magic Kingdom. That's its own special level of hell when you leave.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But more than that, it does give you a better judge of the park. You can tell by where you're parking. I forget, they changed the names. It used to be the last lot at the Magic Kingdom that used to park in was actually Grumpy. So it's not just a name. It's also what you're going to be because this is how full the park is.
Right.
That does have an advantage there of getting around because the Magical Express is a bit of a debacle with the bus system and everything. And so it's a checks and balances. So I understand why people would want to rent a car, but I understand people if you're not from the area and we have GPSs it's still a little harrowing. So I understand also wanting to rely on the
So,
transportation in front of you.
And I was just going to say that for people who have never been to Disney that are listening in, can't imagine that we have that audience yet, but just in case if we do, Magic Kingdom, you do have to take the monorail or the ferry before you even get to the park. So the pro,
no, you take the ferry.
Well, I'm just saying, but like the pro though for staying, like getting on a shuttle bus and staying on a resort property, is to take the complimentary shuttle buses that Disney provides. But still, those are a nightmare in general.
The ticket and transport, you have to park at the ticket and transportation center, and then you go to Magic Kingdom from there. There were ways around this that cast members abuse, and that's the reason you can't do it anymore. You're welcome. I'm one of the people that helped abuse this. Sorry, but it more than just that. But that's only part of it. The ticket and transportation center. Who designed this?
Well,
getting in and out of there can be a bit of. Wait a minute, we're taking a tour around the Magic Kingdom. Why? Because we went the wrong way.
Yep.
There are because and if you use a GPS, it is entirely possible to end up parking in cast parking behind the park because it somehow gives you the address of Disney University.
Yeah.
What always boggled my mind, especially now. So, 3 out of 4 parks, no matter where I park generally in the lot, I would never take the tram. I would walk because it's almost always faster.
Yeah.
It sucks to add that little extra. In Magic Kingdom, it's a bit more of a toss-up, but I cannot imagine what it's been like the last couple months parking in the Magic Kingdom without the tram.
I don't think, are they back yet? I didn't think so.
They came back mid-December.
Yeah.
Oh, they did come back.
Trams
Okay.
are back. Yeah.
Well, look, Hollywood was always one. Again, unless it's a crowded day, you're going to be fine. I know they changed that. Animal, again, unless it's a crowded day, you're generally going to be okay. Magic's the only one because there's so much extra walking involved. I understand when they take the tram.
It may honestly even be worth paying that extra, like, I think it's 20 extra. What is it? 40? How much is the park? I want to say it's like $20 for standard parking. I think it's like $40 for preferred parking. But honestly, like I paid the $40 for Magic Kingdom the one day. It was worth it because my spot was right in front of the TTA.
You know, I get that. I disagree on that only because here's my problem with that. You're paying so much money already.
I know.
That's my problem is you're paying so much. Really, we have preferred parking now. Let me guess, it was a Mickey lot.
So I think it was Aladdin.
Yeah, so Mickey or Minnie.
Yeah.
The thing I want to just add on.
No, I'm sorry, Minnie. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Mickey is only in. Oh my. Woohoo! I just created a grave. Sorry, alcohol. You did this to me. I created a grievous error. I apologize, folks. Mickey is only at Disneyland. It was Minnie in Disney World. The Mickey lot was only at Disneyland. I know this. I can't believe I forgot. I'm sorry I cut you off, buddy. Continue.
So, I just realized something, and I would really have. I have to go test this out someday. So, you now have to park. You now have to pay to park at your resort. Great, fine, dandy. But parking there, you get to park at the parks for free. Cool. But what about me? I have an annual pass where I get to park at the parks for free already.
Yeah, that only applies to the park, not the resorts, bud.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a nice way to nullify my one benefit when I'm giving you more money to stay on your property.
I'm sorry, but to be fair, park a DLC. Oh my gosh! Wow, the gamer me coming out.
Cut the alcohol. Cut the alcohol.
Never. I'm fine. I'm fine. No, that's the gamer me because I'm surrounded by video games over here. The DVC membership, frankly, should automatically give you free parking. I'm sorry, it just should. They welcome you home. I'm sorry, I don't park. I don't pay to park in my driveway. Welcome home. DVC and annual pass should be a given. The annual pass, I can make the case for with or without. But when you have an annual pass with DVC, give these people the parking.
Bruce, With the DVC, I do get to park at the resort, which gives me free
I
parking
was-
at the parks.
I was just
No. I'm saying at the resort. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about the parks
Yeah.
now. I'm just talking at the resort.
DVC,
He
if
just
I
said.
am staying on points, I do get to park at the resort for free
Okay.
because that is a
I thought you
deeded
were
benefit,
playing-
and they
yeah,
cannot take it away from me.
No,
because
annual
they shouldn't. It
passes,
doesn't
though.
make sense.
But the annual passes, though, they're pretty much targeting for Florida residents. Like,
Yeah,
that's
but-
why.
But when you have the outside annual pass, they should give that to you as a perk. I'm sorry, they've clearly given something they're making money on.
I know.
You know, you're going to make more money off of people like me who have an out-of-state annual pass than you are from a Florida resident annual pass.
And two DVC ownerships.
And with the annual pass, the way they weigh the tickets that we were not trained properly on, we used to give tickets like they were water because when we were trained, we were told it's just a piece of paper. Turns out that's not how A&R, accounts receivable and everything sees everything. No, just the opposite. Giving away ticket was a big no-no. You should only do that in rare circumstances. They didn't tell us that. So knowing that, with the annual pass, they're making money on this big time. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, because you live out of state because you're coming down to Disney every month.
Yeah,
Georgia, maybe. Pennsylvania, Virginia.
Yeah, no.
not really. So, you know, you got that going on, and while we have this going on, we mentioned BC, good old Bob Chapek, and he was recently out there talking about the 3 pillars for 2020. Which, do we know the 3 pillars for 2020?
Do we?
Well, I do.
Yeah, I read them, but it was there was a lot of foul language involved.
We have storytelling excellence, whatever that means.
I know what that means, and it's bull.
Innovation.
Tron, that's not even opening until the fall, and Guardians continue.
And this one, you have a lot to prove on this one. A lot to prove. Relentless focus on our audience.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, see, they're missing a word in there. What you don't understand is that the interview cut off a word short. Relentless focus on our audience is wallets.
Yeah.
That's what he's missing. He just ruled the audience is wallets.
Right.
I read it as relentless focus on our, and it was missing a word here,
Yeah.
wealthy audience.
Yeah.
There's that too. Our wealthy audience is wallets. Story's always one of the key, the certain keys and show efficiency, blah blah blah. They've always been important on story. Innovation, all that says to me is we're opening up Tron and Guardians this year.
But there's no date. That's the funniest thing. It's like, oh yeah, we're scheduled to open this up, but
They don't generally give dates this far out.
Guardians, we do have a confirmed time
they
frame
said
on.
summer. They said summer.
It's down to May, I believe.
It's May. It's
May now.
Memorial Day.
Okay.
Look, I've told other people, and from what I'm hearing, rumblings on the inside, look for Guardians to start doing tech previews probably in late April, early May. But Guardians is definitely on track for. So when they say summer, they usually mean May or June. They're saying that because just in case something else comes along. Tron, their mum on. Look for a September-October opening, but I expect Tron to have a ton of issues.
Yeah.
Because apparently now they're working on the inside of the queue.
Yeah.
I will never understand how there can suddenly be a butt ton of issues
When
on
this
a carbon copy.
And how it's been like going on since 2019, 2020.
Will I ever get to ride my train again?
Even if it's a carbon, even though it's a carbon copy, it's these growing pains of opening a new attraction of any kind. You guys know, folks listening at home, maybe in case you don't understand, I'm using an example of actually 2 non-Disney rides here, the roller coasters. You have sister coasters of Accelerator at Knott's Berry Farm, Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point, and King Ka at Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey. All 3 same company. All 3 are sister coasters. All 3 went through the same 3 growing pains because that's how things work.
Yeah.
I think Tron has a certain amount of growing pains they're going to need to go through because also remember, it's been going on since 2019. There's been a lot of inactivity when they're going. So I'm a little I'm curious of what's been happening here, but we'll see. I just only because of the style of ride, I see Tron having I actually more than anything, I see Tron being a training issue, a load and unload nightmare.
I can agree with that.
I could see that.
It's going to take him time. Listen, like anything else, it'll be fine. It just takes a little time. Like anything, I know Tron between the two should have less problems. From what I understand of the Guardians ride system, it should have a few more bugs. I'm looking at you, Gringotts, but the more Gringotts meets the Mummy. Who's
the company that built Guardians? Which roller coaster company?
I thought was it Vekoma or was it It was one of the big ones. It was one of the big boys. Those who look it up, I want to say it was. I thought it was Vekoma.
I thought you said the evil word.
Which one? Intamin?
Yeah.
No, they're usually too busy down at Universal screwing things up. Wait, I'm sorry. Hagrid's too long to name roller coaster. Hagrid's magical adventure through the woods, over the river to grandmother's house we go with Harry Potter.
Bruce was correct. It is Vekoma.
I thought it was Vekoma.
What What else are they known for? What other big?
Vekoma?
A lot.
Yeah. Well, first off, Vekoma is known for rattling your head around, but in recent years, Vekoma has been so much. In fact, I forget what ride it was. TPR got off one. It was great. They're on video. The guy goes, "That was Vekoma." Like hell, it was. That was too smooth for Vekoma, but it was.
First, without even trying to make this hard for you, Brian, you've ridden a Vekoma. Any boomerang you've ridden is a Vekoma.
Boomerang, Mind Erasers of Vekoma. They've done a lot. They've gotten so much better, though, than they used to be.
Okay, I know what kind of ride system then. Well, at least the track.
I get all confused on my roller coaster history here. But is Vekoma not... Didn't they kind of just take all the Arrow crap and turn that into their stuff? Like they were the European arm of Arrow?
I believe they were. But again, back when they did that was back in the Mind Eraser days. They were doing kind of the same thing everywhere. Vekoma has gotten so much better than they used to be.
What I'm trying to get here, though, is as the spiritual successor to Arrow, Arrow has a long and storied relationship with Disney.
Yes.
Because...
They do. And again, this is very different than most Vekoma coasters because of the style. I'm more from here. Here's the reason I say this, folks. You know what? I'm just going to say it. There's launches involved, and one involves going from one building to another, and I believe backwards. That's why I'm saying that one's going to have more growing pains. I'm just going to be honest.
So.
I'm pretty sure your carts not only spin, but I think they're supposed to spin to certain events throughout the attraction.
That's why they're calling it an Omni coaster, because apparently it's synced up to see the scenes on the.
It's almost like another coaster trying to do that, but just really sucks at it because it's so boring, Gringotts.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, I shouldn't say it's boring. Sit in the last row. When you sit in the last row of Gringotts, when that thing reclines, I grabbed my seat in front of me and went, "Wow! Whoo! Whoo! Did not see that coming this fast. Whoo! That was the fun part."
I'm sorry. Back row, last seat in the corner. That's where I was sitting.
That's where I was too.
Oh God,
that was awesome airtime. When you flip in the air, it's like,
yes.
Woo!
Yes.
And then the rest of the attraction happens. You're like, oh. That was so much more exciting than I thought it was going to be.
And you can't see half the ride anyway because you have
fact
the whole.
Slinky Dog's a better attraction. I said it out loud. Anyway, I'm sorry, buddy.
Would you say it was right around 2018 when Vekoma started to get good?
Yes, 100%.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Why?
March 30th, 2018, Vekoma was acquired by Sansi Technologies, the parent company of S&S.
No crap! Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I love S&S. I love S&S. Folks, if you've ever been like an S&S Scream and Swing, they're awesome. For our folks up in New England area, for anyone who may be watching, S&S had a ride called the Sky Swatter. I purposely traveled, but apparently there's a house up by Albany, New York, a lake house. I purposely traveled. The entire reason I really wanted to go to Six Flags New England, at the time they had a thing, it was called a Sky Swatter. Picture 2 fly swatters on opposite ends and just flipping upside down. At the Sky Swatter was amazing. I'm so unhappy none of them exist anymore. But S&S, I love S&S so much.
And as I alluded to, Vekoma being the spiritual successor to Arrow, S&S is the literal successor to Arrow.
Yeah, anything Arrow. There's only one thing Arrow ever did that was not made by Arrow or S&S. Doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Was it the Matterhorn?
Dragonfire.
Oh, I love Dragonfire.
Yeah. Dragonfire. Yeah.
I still have to go see a chiropractor from when I wrote it when I was 8. But
I'm sorry. I should say Arrow built it. They built it with B&M Designs.
Oh God.
I'm sorry, but you know what? These things just doesn't belong here. B&M, great. I'm not knocking Arrow rides. Some of them still. I think Anaconda's still down. I think Anaconda and a couple of them still exist. I love me some Arrow roller coasters. I really do. Arrow Dynamics was a fantastic company, but they had no business building a B&M design.
No.
That's exactly what they did. And it was a disaster. If you've never heard of Dragonfire, look it up. Defunct Land, I think, did a whole episode on it.
I still have PTSD from that roller coaster.
Dragonfire? I've never been on it. Sad face.
The best part is...
I rode Scream Machine till I was blue. I rode Scream Machine like 40 times in one day once. Okay? I love that ride.
It was located pretty close to a legit legend of an Arrow coaster, though. The Loch Ness Monster.
Oh yeah, that's
you pause. I'm like, don't make me say it, buddy. Loch Nessie was just
that was
Arrow at its finest.
I think Loch Ness was definitely coming from like going to Hershey Park growing up, and then going to Busch Gardens. I think Loch Ness was definitely like that. Like the crossover to like this is what roller coaster, like nothing against Hershey Park. Like growing up, like you had Super Duper Looper, you had Comet, Trailblazer, I think the Sidewinder, I think those were like the big 4. And then Great Bear came in. That's when they really blew up with their coasters. But when I was at that age, when it was just like those 4 or 5 coasters, and then going to Williamsburg and trying out like Loch Ness Monster, it's like, okay, this is what I'm riding. These are the coasters now, and that's
remember there was actually, and reason I say this, there was another Arrow. Arrow had a very big partnership with Busch Gardens. They worked well together because there was another Arrow Dynamics coaster there at the time.
Another world's first.
Yeah. I say this, and I know I'm blanking on the name of the car ride that's there now, and I know they pay homage to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know Verbolten pays homage to it, but the big bad wolf. I think Ninja is the last of them. I don't know if the one still exists out at Magic Mountain, but Ninja is the last one. I think it's still Ninja at Cedar Point, the last of the suspended swinging coasters. But Arrow did those. They used the land perfectly.
I still love the concept art of the Beastly Kingdom roller coaster, the Dragon Challenge with the flying of the bats, like suspended coaster. Like,
don't say that name. Don't say the word bat because everyone remembers the aerodynamics bat.
You can't say the word bat in the same sentence as we're talking about a suspended swinging coaster.
Because it's just bad luck. It is bad karma right there. Why? If you've been on the bat, congratulations. You're one of the 14 people.
Just a pause. Wouldn't this historical ride system of a suspended swinging coaster be a great platform for like a dark roller coaster?
Yeah.
Oh, it would be amazing. The problem with these suspended coasters is theming is everything. It has to give the illusion of going fast because, like Big Bad Wolf, you're going through the village swinging and it's fun. It really only had that one drop that was thrilling. Most of them, they worked, but the place that I think could build one and be best would be Dollywood because you have the Smoky Mountains to use. You need the terrain to work with.
So,
but inside a building, I think if you built the right show building, hell yeah.
I'm thinking inside a building, and it's been 30, 40 years since they built these. 40. I'm pretty sure we could probably get it now where you don't have to like sit in the car style. You could be dangling.
Of course you can. I get to give
that would improve it tenfold.
Take the concept of throwing it on flyers and turn it to 11.
I'm sorry.
No, just
I'm
turn
sorry,
it to 11.
Okay, raise your hand if you actually been able to tear it on flyers. You know why? There's only one man in this room that can actually ride the stupid thing now.
I know.
And I went there when I was a kid. I was too big to go.
Same here. I was like a kid too, and I'm like, they're just like, oh yeah, you're
too big.
It's
okay. It's okay. It had a capacity of 8 an hour. You didn't miss much.
Wait, what? How did capacity 8 an hour? I thought it was 2. That's a lot.
How were the views?
Well,
how were
the
the
theoretical intimate?
How were the views?
For people watching are just like, this is our nerdiest episode yet for like, I don't know whether to knock it or this is non-Disney, but it's still theme park nerdiness at its finest. Finest, like a wine over here. Oh, I love it.
How were the views though? I mean, did you go on it? Those are.
I forget what we're talking.
To turn on flyers. I did not. He's never been on it. I'm simply saying that he's the one with the kid.
Oh, okay.
No, as I'm simply saying, he's the one with the kid. He's the one right now without the option.
He just went to Disney on his last trip. He didn't go to Universal.
Yeah, I have a kid. I can't go to Universal. Paragon Flyers is the only thing she can ride.
Well, no, it's not. No, it's not. Not coming soon. The rumors look to be very true. Yes. Shrek 4D has gone to a land far, far away. Immediately, walls went up the next day with minions on them, and nothing's been announced, but Universal put up a video of an onion being replaced by a banana. It looks like Villain Con is 100% coming to Universal Orlando Resort at Universal Studios Florida.
Here's my question. Are they literally gonna double down with Despicable Me as soon as you walk into the park, or they build this new attraction and they just somewhat phase out that?
You mean whoa, Brian? You mean we need to get rid of the rockets that have been there since Hanna-Barbera? You actually want to time out. You want to? I'm sorry. Change what's in that building for once? Whoa.
I'm not saying
that would make sense. That would make sense to gut that building. We can't do that by any stretch. As I say that, a lot of people retired. That means a certain individual is slowly climbing up the ladder. So if a certain Michael Aiello happens to hear this, I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. Please don't. You already have plans. Please don't forsake me, Mr. Aiello, and let me back in. You are God, Mr. Aiello. Please don't forsake me.
Well, let's do some fan theories here. Let's say, for argument's sake, it is the Villain Con.
It is. All right. There's no doubt.
I know.
It was rumored months ago. It's Villain Con. It's no doubt about that. To pause here for Brian, so people know, the proposed idea for Villain Con here is kind of like an innovations type attraction. That's a very large building. People don't realize. There were 2 Shrek rooms there, plus the pre-show. It's a very large area. So what the idea is, it's going to be like a floor show where you can interact with some of the villains from the Despicable universe and try out their inventions.
You know what this reminds me of? Do you remember? Well, yes, but
Murder, She Wrote?
Go in the time machine. Go way back to the beginning of Universal Studios. Do you guys remember Alfred Hitchcock Presents?
Come on, yes, I do.
Okay, I'm just making sure that's the building that it resided in before Shrek came in, and that thing was massive because you had the Psycho show, you had the rear window interaction where you took the binoculars and looked through the apartments. You had the sound effects stage show. Like you had like 3 or 4 shows that went on throughout the entire thing.
If anyone's been to Universal Orlando, I'll tell you how big. Not only can you walk the length of it, basically it goes from the entrance of the park all the way to its caddy corner, but it goes all the way. That building goes all the way behind Mel's Drive-In, and it cuts off. That's a very, very, very big show building there. I shouldn't say go all the way to Mel's because there's a bathroom and everything in the way. But it's still, it goes a good distance. It's a good sized building.
Doesn't Transformers share that same building?
No. There's a pathway in between them.
So there's nothing on the other side of the building.
Trust me on this. Trust me. Don't look up in the air. I know.
I know. I believe. I'm just trying to. So nothing else shares that building besides just Halloween Horror Nights for houses.
It was only. And do you know how long it took them to get them to do that? It was forever. But it's a decent sized building there. My only hesitancy. I don't want to poo poo an idea like this. I don't see villain. I just don't see this. Like those are said interventions. I don't see this. I don't know what. But hey, I could be wrong. I'm just not visioning it. I can't see this. I can't see this being. I see this being as a cluster as instead of a solution. But maybe you're right. Maybe I doubt they want to get rid of because listen, I said, we have not touched. I almost called the Jimmy Neutron's Nicktoon Blast. We haven't touched Hanna-Barbera's Fantastic Universe. We haven't touched Despicable. That building has literally been there with the same rocket seats forever.
Yeah. And that's why I think that should be some. Sure, we'll make it Despicable Me because I can't use Doofenshmirtz. It'll be Gru's randomizer.
See, I had an idea.
And you get on it, and you don't know which one you're getting.
I had an idea. I had a brain smart here. I had a little flash of idea here. Which needs updating. Move the horror makeup show. You have the horror makeup show that leads into a year-round walk-through haunt. You can update the haunt as much as you want, anytime you want, but you could do something classic.
And where the Hanna-Barbera ride resides.
You could do something classic. You could do something pure. You could do something, a property that you happen to own or have a good relationship with.
Ghostbusters.
No, yeah. Do you think that would work, Brian? I had no idea where I was going with that.
When you said something pure,
something pure. You know exactly. Thank you.
She's a Harvard chick.
Yes, I knew you'd get it. I knew it. But yeah, that was my thing. Was like you could easily do this. A walk through Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be that because Ghostbusters wasn't that scary. You can just do. Here's how we do things, and here's our makeup show, and here's it in action. Walk through a couple scenes of Ghostbusters.
And especially with the new film, they could totally throw in some props from the new movie too in there for a promotional standpoint. Absolutely. Yeah, because I've
only watched it 4 or 5 times. It's been released last week.
Oh god,
so good! I love it. I'm sorry. One day I'm not gonna be feeling well at night and be like, I'm just gonna.
I bought it. Well, during the pandemic, it was on Amazon Prime for digital. So I just watch on Amazon.
I have all 3. I'm like, I'm just gonna sit down. It's a Ghostbusters marathon day. But that's that. But that's a little bit of what's going on down the street at Universal. Also, while we're there, quick little update for you folks. Halloween Horror Nights 31 rumors. Obviously, we know Chucky, Gremlins, and Universal Monsters look all but confirmed. I'm hearing other rumblings, possibly Fear Street with their thing with Netflix. But I'm hearing all sorts of rumors about this and that. The heavy rumor that came out this week, which is PSA, is I'll believe it when I see it. But maybe, just maybe, Ghostface is coming. I'll believe it when I see it at this point. Yeah. But that's your Halloween Horror Nights 31 update. I will update you as things go. We still don't have dates for this year, so when we hear them first.
I'm not feeling the idea of walking into Universal and just saying Despicable Me, and then Minions. Why could? Okay, here's my thing. Here's my thing. You have Universal. Was it Singapore that has their DreamWorks theater with Kung Fu Panda?
Well, remember that is another heavy rumor that it was supposed to be Kung Fu Panda. I'm hearing that that's still the reason that's dead in the water is because it's a Scream. And they're hearing everyone says we don't want another Scream. That's what I'm hearing. is that it's a screen and that they don't want to do another screen because that's criticisms. Hey. I'm also hearing that, a Land of Awesome could be coming somewhere to another park near soon.
I mean, with the Villain Con though, I would be okay if it was Toy Story Midway Mania. Like if it's a walkthrough attraction, intervention type thing, whatever. But I think for ride standpoint, if it's a ride, it should be there like a Midway Mania type game.
I'm just gonna answer with this because Men in Black's ride system works so well. Those guns work so perfectly.
Yeah.
I just want to remind you all, this is the park that took out a beloved attraction to replace it with a ride that took 3 years to build and doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. I'm talking about Terminator 2.
Oh.
Well, listen, T2 was beloved at the time, but Bourne is getting all sorts of raves.
It may be getting all sorts of raves, but it premiered in 2020, and it still doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
Because it was supposed to be abandoned for something else. Wait, what? Who said that? Who said that? Quiet back there! That's what I'm hearing is I was supposed to be for something else as well. It was a stepping stone. I don't disagree. I'm very curious how things will go down at the other, but I'm also hearing that there's only 2 things confirmed for Epic Universe. There's only 2. These are happening. Oh, well, we're on Universal. I'll say that. Things have been leaking from Super Mario World, Nintendo World is guaranteed. That's a lock. The other lock is Universal Monsters. The main attraction at Universal Monsters has had leaks. It's Van Helsing. Yeah. It's Van Helsing, folks. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I've been looking at these images before Harry Potter was a thing. I have been watching this. I know that circle. I'm a nerd. I have been following this for years. Yeah. It's Van Helsing. I know it. Don't let them tell you otherwise. It's Van Helsing. Anyone tells you otherwise, you say, Bruce said otherwise, and I believe him because he has literally had nothing better to do. Literally. Here's how much of a nerd I am. I read lawsuits when it comes to theme parks, word for word. I read the entire Baroque documents. That's what I do, folks. I enjoy this. But it's Van Helsing. It's going to be Van Helsing. If anyone tells you otherwise, I know that ride. I know that circle. I know all of that. I've been seeing this for years. It's Van Helsing at last.
And if it's anything. From what I've been reading and hearing too, it's a similar track system like Rise of the Resistance. And if it's half as good as Rise, this ride's gonna be amazing.
They've been planning this. This was the ride system that everyone said was ended up being Harry Potter.
What, with the claw? It's gonna be another claw. I thought it was gonna be a trackless thing like Star Wars.
Don't know yet. Well, keep watching. All I know is what I've been seeing is those. I know that anywhere. I know that circle for unload, load, and unload. They may have changed it then, but that's what I'm saying. Everything I've seen is all signs are pointing. It may be Frankenstein's castle. It may be Castle Dracula. Van Helsing is the attraction because it's going to have all of them in it.
Because I have some sources down there, and from what they were telling me is that Universal hired a few agents to basically go into Rise of the Resistance and report back with.
Oh no, they hired people to go ride a ride. They've never done that before.
Yeah. Well, no, but they're trying to get.
But I believe they're trying to combine the two, is what I've been reading. Yeah. I'm not personally sold that it's going to be trackless. Remember, when you have worked with Kuka before, odds are you might work with them again. But everything I'm seeing, it all signs point to Van Helsing.
Yeah, I mean, and nothing better than just having, the coming with all the monsters together in one.
Yeah. Everything else is up in the air, other than Harry Potter will be involved. But everyone's wondering, what happened? Well, what about Harry Potter? I would watch Fear Factor Arena if I was anybody else.
I was just gonna say, I think they're moving the Harry Potter over to Fear Factor because what I've been hearing is the attraction.
Ministry of Magic.
Well, I've been hearing two things. I've been hearing two rumors with Fear Factor. I've been hearing that it's either a new broom type riding a broomstick attraction. I've also heard that it could possibly be something like a Cursed Child, but on a theater scale in the theme parks.
Ministry of Magic.
Yeah, that I've been hearing it's another stage show, but it's going to be like Harry Potter and the Cursed Child from New York.
Oh God, please no.
But it's going to be with the Ministry of Magic, because it's going to be with Fantastic Beasts. And I've heard
Fantastic Beasts is supposedly an Epic Universe. That's the rumor. That's just going around. Again, the plans are up in the air. I've been hearing Ministry of Magic has been actually. This is a long old rumor that Ministry of Magic would be taking over Fear Factor. If it is something about Cursed Child,
well, not Cursed Child, but like a stage show, like something like Cursed Child with live actors and live performance magic and everything. Because I don't know how they would do a ride with Ministry of Magic though. The only thing I
figure it out.
No. I didn't say it was an attraction. I didn't say it was a ride. I just said Ministry of Magic would be there. It could easily be the stage show. We don't know what's going in the building. I just know want that to be a Ministry of Magic area.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, part of the problem, and I've said this before, the reason I'm a little skeptical of that is, apartments.
You can have it inside. It can be an indoor show.
No, I just mean building permits and everything. Apartments.
Oh. Yeah.
We will know a little bit better because apartments.
Yeah.
What needs to happen, if they're going to build a show, if they want to build another show, and I'm very much reuse what you got because Universal's the kings of that. I'm looking at you, Wild West Stuntacular.
Oh no, they're being demolished.
Yeah.
I see a Quidditch match.
Could be.
Then taken over by Dementors mid-show.
See, I just too much Harry Potter.
Well, yes.
Here's my problem. Now you're starting to run into the reason I think it could be a Quidditch match, the reason I thought the Ministry worked, in case you're not familiar, where you're tearing down, we have a problem here, ladies and gentlemen. The problem is an overflow queue for Men in Black and a tent in the way. The tent, I understand, is going nowhere because a certain other thing may inhibit. There's a certain other thing that may inhibit a certain event from happening in a certain place. Shrek ain't there, therefore that house ain't there, therefore the Men in Black tent ain't going anywhere. It's a permanent structure. The Men in Black tent staying for Horror Nights. So I'm already hearing rumors of the soundstage for Cabin in the Woods being used for that, since that's going down. With that being said, if those exist there, what do we do here? It could be a Quidditch thing, but that's why I hear it's Ministry of Magic, because it'll be buildings, but on the inside is something else. It could be a stage, or it could be a Quidditch match. I agree, Quidditch match actually will make perfect sense. It's just no one knows anything yet. It's all just rumors and speculation. We're informing you of what could be happening.
But while we're speaking of what could be happening, let's talk about what's happening, and that is Pixar getting sent straight to Disney Plus and the animators. Not very happy about this.
Yeah.
The animators are off base. They're not. The animators are feeling undervalued. Just the opposite. You are so important to Disney Plus. They're not seeing that. It is a good thing that they're not doing a paid subscription. That it's just a premiere on Disney Plus. They value you that much that folks are going to riot. They're not going to pay $30 to see it. They want to see it now. Kids want to watch Turning Red immediately.
And more importantly, they may be mad, they may be annoyed. I can't think of any animators whose paycheck depends on it doing well or not. So it shouldn't matter because, the industry kind of likes to screw over the animators. They're not treated quite the same as actors, and voice actors are notoriously not well treated.
They could be a bonus or something given possibly by contracts, but with Pixar that's never been an issue because every Pixar movie has just made money. It's been a given.
Yeah.
It's happened. There's only one movie that possibly, and the reason that they shouldn't complain is only one movie of theirs that might not have made money, and it might have been saved by going to Disney Plus. I'm talking of Onward. Onward happened when the shutdown and every theaters and everything had to shut down. So in that they went right to Disney Plus because Disney Plus was still new and it grew subscription sales. That's what this is all about. Those are understands. Those are as kid.
Yeah, I'm not bringing my daughter to a theater anytime soon.
Yeah.
I may go, but she's not.
Right.
She's not going to go. You don't want to hear, well, I want to pay $30 because she really wants to watch Luca, Turning Red, Soul, Onward, what have you. And she's not going to want to watch it once. She's going to like the movie. She's going to want to watch it every night for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that it's a good thing. They're keeping the subscription. They're not subscribed. Yeah, we have Marvel and Star Wars, but parents are keeping their subscription for what their kids want to watch. Their kids want to watch Pixar movies a lot. They don't want to. They don't want to have it where my kid's whining. That's a big thing. Pixar. I know how you feel, animators, but you are loved, and we all love you. We want to see what you turn out because Turning Red looks fantastic. It looks like it's going to be hysterical.
I agree.
Yeah.
And now this one's more geared towards Brian. Lightsabers going in plastic bags.
Yeah.
People annoyed that you're not getting. You're still paying full price.
It's not even lightsabers now. The Droid Depot they're putting the droids in plastic bags now.
Okay, the droids I have a problem with. They need the boxes to get them home in any shape.
Yeah, I know. It right now, and here's what's sad about this whole situation too. The cast members are keeping quiet during this whole thing. Like clearly it's a shortage. I mean, clearly they don't have enough product for shipments to come in, so they have plastic bags to carry around. But yeah, I completely agree. They need to lower the price or add in the $50 sash that you can buy at the stores.
So
the complimentary. Now my lightsaber. I was fortunate. My lightsaber came with the complimentary one, but yeah, these plastic bags are just yeah.
What I will say on people demanding that they lower the price for whatever it's covered in normally probably is inconsequential.
If anything, it's $20 because the thing that you put it in, it's not high quality craftsmanship. It is literally just like a sash that comes with styrofoam. It's inside to keep the blade and hilt everything intact. I would say it's probably at a $20 to $30 value. So yeah.
While I can't speak for the lightsabers, the droids, I think what they should do is immediately begin offering free home shipping. Free home shipping.
That, or even the lightsabers too. They need to offer that too.
I
don't want to trust my lightsaber to FedEx. I'm sorry.
True.
You're paying a lot for a product. You're paying a lot for merchandise that's helping this company. The fact that they haven't valued this in a while, but the fact that they're not valued, I'm sorry, this is not certain things they do, they're not valuing. Come on. This is a little ridiculous here.
So, I have a question. Have any of you ever had one of the Disney bags melt and get all over the shirt you just bought?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have. There was this time, I want to say mid-2000s, where the bag quality plummeted off the face of the earth and they began melting because I would go in August.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, you built your park in a hot spot. You have to build bags that can't melt in your heat.
Yeah, and you get that blue, that ink from
Yeah. And I don't want that on my stuff that I just paid $30 for a t-shirt.
I have not, but I agree 100%. Well, that's bull. To a certain extent with the merchandise is, it is what it is. But no, you paid for it. You've paid for it. They should not be ruined by something, even if I'm bag melting. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to leverage this straight into a gripe I have currently about one of their COVID reductions. I do not understand how it is helping the COVID world that I can't ship things back to my resort.
What?
Yeah, when you
did
buy
not
stuff.
just say that. I did not just hear that. You're kidding me, right?
No, you carry your bags through the park. There is no back to your resort anymore.
Why?
Yeah.
COVID.
You could. I know it's crazy. You could ship from the resort. Like if you're at the parks, you can ship your stuff home with you, but you can't take it back to the resort with you.
If you
Why?
Have you heard of the annoyance of shipping back from your resort? So if you want to do it the efficient way of going and having your resort ship everything you bought back, like
my brain's broken. I'm sorry.
You're either paying at each individual store as you go along, or you go back to your resort with all your purchases and all your receipts. They return every single purchase you have and remake it from the resort's cash register to ship it home.
Yeah.
Wait.
So basically,
even if it's wait. Okay, so not to cut you off, Brian, but I didn't make sure I understand what you're saying. If I go to the park and I'm gonna mention things about merchandise. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say I buy a shirt from Splash Mountain. I buy a souvenir mug from Country Bears. I buy something from Space Mountain. I buy something from Seven Dwarfs, and I say I'm gonna ship. I'm choosing these for a reason, and I bring them back to my resort. They're going to return them, then to purchase them from the resort, which should not have options to buy them because resort merchandise is limited, then to just rebuy them so you can... What?
I looked into this heavily.
Yeah.
Bob, you cheap SOB. Bob Chapek, you're kidding me. This makes literally negative sense.
Because on my last trip, when I was looking at buying a suitcase to bring my stuff home and pay for an extra bag or ship it through the resort, and I did a lot of research to find, because things changed recently, and I'd find the 2021 protocols, and I'm like, they got to do what? And this is why you always stay at one of the convention resorts.
Yeah.
With a shipping center.
What? This is insane. You're taking basic things. Okay, so we're punishing people for spending money in our parks. Well, money that we always encourage people to shop. I was told working guest relations one night, you can go home. We asked them. They kept the park open because this family was dropping cash like it was going out of style. They don't need guest relations. They're just going to walk down Main Street and just make it rain. Rumor has it they even bought the castle. You know which castle I'm talking about. You guys know.
They actually sell that?
That's what I said. But that could have been us talking as a rumor. But they were willing to just... So basically, people are willing to drop cash. You're going to throw that back in their face. That makes no sense. Oh,
I'm just going to say, you want to sell that castle? You want to sell more of that castle? Include a night in Cinderella's suite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say it. The rumors out there, who knows if they're true, but there were heavy rumors going around that Bob Chapek was signed. Well, they said to a 1 year. It's been more than 1 year. A limited deal, and that Iger could be coming back until somebody else is taking over. And you know what? If those rumors are real, good. If this is the kind of thing we're getting, come on! People buy stuff. Let them ship it to home. Let them ship it to the resort. I should not have to. There's no locker system. And I'm not saying there should be a locker system, but I shouldn't have to lug my stuff around because my kid wants to buy the Slinky Dog Dash toy. Come on. This is ridiculous.
As someone who regularly goes and spends large amounts of money on not your low-end stuff, on your higher-end stuff, I, at the very minimum, want to be able to go pick it up at the front of the park, which you can't do either. And I'm just like, why? Why do I have to lug this around? Why am I lugging around 4 Starbucks mugs right now?
Ridiculous.
Why am I
didn't know
lugging
that.
around all this breakable stuff through the park? Oh,
Right.
and you make me bring it on most of the rides.
Right. There's no, yeah.
So you folks know, at least at a special event at Universal, I could have done it. I just didn't because I was leaving the park anyway. But I could have purchased my stuff at Halloween Horror Nights Tribute, the HHN Tribute store, and shipped it back to my Zord if I wanted. But we were already on our way out, so I just carried it. That is ridiculous. That is beyond ridiculous. That makes no sense. I don't care what they. The only thing, okay, you know what? The only thing I will give them, the only thing that makes sense on is it's not COVID. It's because of COVID we didn't hire enough staff back to run this.
Right.
Cast members. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say staff.
Okay.
We did not hire enough cast. It's the only thing I could see, possibly. And as a former cast member,
No.
shame, Bob. Shame.
And you know the only reason I will truly shame that? We didn't hire enough cast members. Okay. That's because the system you had for this was very manual, very labor intensive. All you need to do is somewhere in your system program it. I scan my magic band. It knows my resort. It gives them my resort. They press ship to resort. It prints out a receipt. They staple to the bag. It prints out a receipt. They give it to me.
Right.
That's all they need to do.
Well,
Yeah.
no. I'm actually thinking the back end. When I said they didn't hire enough people, it said hire enough people to go around for every store. Now, I don't know if they did it at the end of the night. And that's what did they do? Did they go around to every gift shop at the end of the night? Because to bring someplace in the park? That's the only thing I'm saying is maybe they didn't have enough cast members brought back to do that. But as I say that, you have enough to run the store. That means you have enough to do this at a central location.
Right.
And your shortage of staff members would make cast members would make sense for the front of the park delivery because that was done about every hour from the
yeah.
Because
stores.
You never know when people are going to leave. You need to give them a realistic time.
Back to the resort. They gave you like a 2-day window for it to come back to your resort. It wasn't even fast.
Right.
Never was. Because it couldn't. Because all sorts of things it couldn't be. But like, come on. Ridiculous.
And some of that stuff, like, I would almost sit there and just say, okay, well, why don't they just take 90% of the merchandise where everything is exactly the same and pick it fresh from a warehouse or whatever, centralize it. Like
you could do that.
I am trying to scale up the efficiency, not necessarily.
The issue then becomes of because you have so much merchandise for some attractions, not enough for the others. That starts to become an issue of inventory. But even then, it's if you're giving a window, yeah, you could. The only thing I could say maybe that every time, okay, you bought one thing. It could be, listen, if you're buying one thing, we can't do that. If you're buying 3 or more things, we can do it for you, no problem. I can understand that if it's individual things. If it's just something, there's certain things I can make a case for. But like, I just can't imagine that. The warehouse idea is not bad. I just don't. It's not realistic enough.
Bruce, I'm just saying that the last time I was there, I could order something from Amazon at the same time I bought it in the park, and it would get to my resort faster than if I shipped it from the park.
I understand that. I do understand that. But because some of the system, the way for basic merch, you can put it anywhere. You can have a warehouse full of it. For certain specific merchandise, I can understand them not doing that.
Yes.
Knowing the way the park landscape really works. But even then, by saying that, I could see them saying, "Oh my gosh, we got to do this for every individual shirt." You're kidding me, right? But that's how it is. Again, my feeling on this is, you're charging more money than ever per ticket, and you're giving them less than ever. Bob, you got to be joking with me.
And, okay, I don't want to say this, but even if you only do it for your whales, your people that, for purchases over $150 or whatever.
It's not a real.
Please.
It doesn't take that much to get that high.
Or things that weigh over a pound.
Fair.
Because they add up quickly.
Sure.
Or one of my favorite things I would always do it for is ornaments I bought at the shops.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if I got them personalized.
Yep.
Huge one.
Because I could get them personalized. They could take their time on personalizing it and ship it back to my resort.
That's a whole other that's a whole different can of worms, or a whole different ball of wax, if you will, because the ornaments are worse than they've ever been. They're so
I know.
What ornaments?
I know.
I was just there. What ornaments? There were like 7.
I know.
Exactly.
My buddy wanted to buy something, literally, not ship it, nothing. He wanted to physically buy it to take it back down to Miami, to where he lived. He since has moved to Chicago. Love you, Eric. But he wanted to bring it back to Miami for people who are engaged or getting married or something. This is it. It was this little thing of like, and we scoured. It was down at Disney Springs. What's up on the Christmas? We scoured the store. We're all like, where's the ornaments? Where's the merchandise? And she goes, well, this is it here. I'm like, you're not laughing. Why aren't you laughing? That's a joke. See? That's a joke. There's 4 things there.
Well,
it's 4 ornaments, and they're ugly.
Talked about it a couple episodes ago. They've closed most of the Christmas stores. There's just not enough.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And
I think even the German Christmas store, I think, is still closed too in Germany.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, you know it's bad when Germany Pavilion can't even open up their Christmas store because they don't have ornaments.
People love to spend money there.
I know.
They're more than happy to buy those because some of those ornaments are nice.
Yeah, there's nothing there. There's nothing
but
there.
You're right. I didn't think of that. Ornaments. Why would you want to carry that through? Why would I want to take an ornament with me on test track?
I don't like it.
That's the sad state of affairs that were. I didn't know. I'm glad you went. I didn't know that. Folks, I'm legit surprised. I had no idea you couldn't ship to your resort right now.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, we tried it the first couple stores and they're like, no, we're not doing that. What do you mean you're not doing that? And I get it. Like, it used to be this stupid form you would have to fill.
Mm-hmm.
And you just sit there and go, okay, Disney, can you take $1 million that you have invested in any other stupid thing you have and update some of your computer systems?
Yeah.
Please.
It's a multi-billion-dollar company. You don't understand. They are online for food stamps, for Christ's sake. Bob Chapek had to go down to the bodega to buy coffee. It is tough. He had to lay off one of his 18 servants. It is a very tough time out there.
Oh, all Bob cares about is Disney Plus because that's their revenue right now. Is they're doubling down with Disney Plus, so he can care. He can care less about the parks. All he cares about is, hey, more subscribers for my Disney Plus. Look what I created. That's what he's going to be known for. He's going to be the guy of being cheap and the guy that gave us Disney Plus. He
launched Disney Plus. He didn't create it. We all know it takes longer than that to do it, Bobo. I'm sorry, Bob. Cheap ass JPEG. I can't call you Bobo.
He'll take the credit. He'll take the credit.
Of course he will.
And the final thing on my software upgrades, apparently they have upgraded the app to make it a little bit more navigable. I'm on it right now. I do not see these changes, but I'm also not currently in Disney World. It still looks just as bad as ever.
Now, it could take days to fully roll out, especially if you're not on property, but frankly, I'll believe it when I see it.
The big thing for me is will they speed up the time? Will they cure the fact that I curse every time I try to make a dining reservation, which has been happening since the app rolled out for dining reservations many years ago?
I can say this with certainty after this last conversation. They can't do package pickup. What makes you think they can do that? Now that I've been enlightened to this, I would have been used. I wish you told me that, buddy, when you went down. I'd have used this weeks ago.
Hey, let me guys ask you this: would you guys to make your dining reservations? What is it like 60 days out? Yeah, right. 60 days, 90 days out.
I don't even know anymore.
I think it's 6.
You should know.
I know, but they always change. They always change.
They did it for many, many years. It used to be 180 forever in a day.
Well, then it was,
which is too far out.
Right. I think it's 60. I want to say it's 60. I have to double check. I want to say 60. 60 just sounds like a round number. Anyway, who wants to get up at 5:45 in the morning to book your dining reservations?
No one. I'm sorry. It's gotten too big. They should not accept reservations ahead of time. First come, first serve at the park only. Done. I'm sorry. It's ridiculous.
That's the new norm now. So whenever your dining reservations become available for your next Disney trip, pretty much you have to get up at 5:45 in the morning to book those reservations.
Yeah, that's what I had to do at 180 when I used to book.
Yeah.
And then rebook them all 60 days out because I booked my fast passes and I could only get Avatar on Wednesday. But we were supposed to be at Magic Kingdom on Wednesday, so I had to change everything.
With the park reservation system, I'm sorry. They really just need to go to it's no reservations, first come, first serve. Yeah. Then we start a waiting list from there. Go. Our rating list can be. We'll text you when it's ready, just like any other restaurant. They've made this so hard. They've made this so difficult, and it doesn't need. Vacationing should not be this much work, kids.
So, I will see that, but I will raise you a 30-day window for signature dining.
Fine, I'm okay with that.
True signature dining, not some places they're calling signature dining.
Thank you. Listen, I'm with you on that because you know why? Joe Q Popcorn, Joe and Jane, Billy and Sally aren't going to go there. I'm just going to say the one. I'm going to say the one restaurant, one of the few restaurants. Obviously, things have changed. I only ate for lunch for a quick service. Be Our Guest. The excuse of Be Our Guest years ago, we created a restaurant that was just too pretty. People don't want to leave, so people don't want to.
It's 60.
You beat a restaurant you couldn't. Your kitchen couldn't possibly serve completely. Nice try. That's the stuff that you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have to get up at 5. You know why? Because we called it the playground for the prepared. Joe Q Popcorn, Joe and Jane and Sally and Billy don't know that. They don't know you have to do that. The fact that you have to get up at 7 in the morning to get your dump. If you don't get up at 7 in the morning, you're not getting on that ride. What?
Also, John, Jilly, and Jane are not going to want to eat at Monsieur Paul's. So
of course not. That's what I'm saying. I'm fine with that because I agree with you. I'm fine with that. Monsieur True Signatures. 30 days out, totally cool with that. It just the problem is it's just like with the fast pass system. They don't want to change. They say they do, but they really don't. While we're mentioning fast pass, also something we didn't bring up yet. Did it happen today or yesterday? Ratatouille is no longer doing a boarding pass queue. It's virtual queue. Thank you. I was just looking for. They're no longer doing virtual queue coming up. I think it started already. Maybe it didn't. But they are doing a standby queue. Standby queues are expected to be a very long wait. So if you still wish to purchase a lightning lane, you still can do that. But it's now going to be just a standby queue.
And the more and more I look at the lightning lane, I actually like the individual purchasing over the Genie Plus.
It should be. That's the way we thought it was going to be. That's the way it should be. It makes it more fair purchasing into each individual one. And I'm just going to say it. It should go live when the park opens, not to Disney, not to people who with extra magic hours in the morning, to general day guests.
Well, and that's what Paris is doing.
That's the way it should be.
That's why I'm like, I don't understand why they couldn't just.
It fixes the. You know why? Because they're hungry for money here because they know people are going to pay without thinking. It fixes the problem. Their system, I've said it till I'm blue in the face, their system doesn't fix the problem. But if you go to pay per model, each attraction, you don't have to have it for all attractions. You only have to have it for a handful. It fixes the issue. It fixes the line issue a little bit better.
Yeah.
Pirates should not, I know those agrees with this. Pirates should not have anything that's not just a standby queue. Period. Yeah. Mansion, Mermaid, maybe Jungle Cruise. I can make an excuse for that due to the small queue, the queue they have. But there's certain things that just should not have it.
And there's ones that definitely need to have it, like Small World. That just has to have a fast pass. I mean,
it should be an $80 fast pass. What are you kidding?
Absolutely.
$8 to $10. It should be $80 a head.
Absolutely.
You get paid $80 for riding it.
And you still get broken. The ride still breaks down.
You get paid $8 for riding it, and I hand you $100 and go, I'm good.
And you still get stuck on for 3 hours hearing that it's a small world after all.
That's okay. You know what, though? There's certain sections where it's just an instrumental. It's kind of nice. You're floating along. It's in air conditioning. It's Florida. And then you get to unload and unload, and they're waking you up like it's your fault.
Yeah.
Sir, you need to exit the attraction. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. You could have said that 5 minutes ago.
Okay, I'm just going to say it. I now need to, next time I go on It's a Small World, sit in the boat, pull out noise-canceling headphones and an eye mask.
Fun fact, I have actually been woken up on 3 different attractions at Disney World. Four, I forgot. I have fallen completely asleep at Ellen's Energy Adventure, American Adventure, the France movie, and Hall of Presidents. I have fallen asleep to the point that someone had to wake me up. My group left me and made a cast member do it.
So
I'm sorry, it's so comfortable, and I'm tired, and it's in air conditioning, and no one said, Bruce, we have to go now.
That's me with Carousel of Progress.
So, a couple years ago, Meg and I were getting on Ellen's Energy Adventure, and everyone's rushing to the front of the cars. We hang back, we get in the back row.
Lay down.
Well, the 2 back rows, and we just lay down. Nice. And a cast member walks by and goes, "These 2 know what's up."
Yep.
And a cast member was telling me once, "Sir, you can't lay down until the ride's in motion." "Sir, they're cracking down on us. You can't lay down until the ride's in motion." Hi.
And you know what? I think on that bombshell, it's an incredible time to just say, we'll see you real soon.
Yeah.
We're the idiots. We're the idiots so you don't have to be. And remember, please do not lay down until the ride is